U.S. President Donald Trump's call to Russian dictator Putin gives the impression that negotiations on a full-scale war in Ukraine have begun. This was stated by NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte during a conversation with journalists. To quote, "It looks like it was a successful call. We all want peace for Ukraine and to make it the strongest," the Secretary General emphasized. According to him, the West wants peace and a strong position. Rutte expressed hope that Trump and his team share this view. It is important that the peace is long-lasting, that Putin does not even try to seize any part of Ukraine, Mark Rutte said. The Secretary General also noted that NATO should continue discussions to strengthen Ukraine's position, and European countries should increase production and investment in the defense industry in Ukraine and Europe. As for Europe's reaction, I have already said that after the meeting of foreign ministers in Paris, Weimar Plus, including the UK, Spain, Italy, and Germany, it was stated that it is unacceptable to negotiate the end of the war without the EU and Ukraine, only between Washington and Moscow. I want to talk more about Trump's conversations with journalists last night. You must admit, after yesterday's statements and his communication with the press, this is exactly the impression that one gets. So the Voice of America journalist outlined the main points of Trump's communication with journalists. One of the questions: do you consider Ukraine an equal participant in this peace process? I think they should make peace. Their people are being killed, and it's not a good war to enter. I think they should end it. These are quotes from Donald Trump. Journalists asked Trump about Ukraine's accession to NATO. He replied that he personally did not consider it practical. The new Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, said today that this is unlikely or impractical. This is probably true. Even before Putin, it was said that this would not be allowed. This has been happening for years, with constant claims that Ukraine can't join NATO, which I accept. The journalist then asked if I would support Zelensky's territorial concessions or exchanges. A direct quote from Donald Trump: he's going to have to do what he has to do, but his ratings are not very high, to put it mildly. He has a country that has been devastated and attacked, and he has an army. In fact, it is very brave. Although, in my opinion, we gave him $350 billion, which is a real figure. I don't know where Trump gets these numbers from, but he keeps changing and increasing them. I quote further, "You don't hear this number. Europe, in my opinion, has given $100 billion in the form of a loan. My finance minister in Ukraine is preparing a document to guarantee the return of this money. We will secure our money. They have rare earth metals, they have oil and gas, and they have many other things, and we are asking for security for our money. Ukraine has agreed to this." The journalist asks, will Ukraine no longer receive aid? Trump replies, "We will, but we want to protect our money. Otherwise, Putin would declare victory." We are the force that is holding this back, and we will do as much as necessary. We do not want any other development of events. But now Putin wants peace. He didn't want it under Biden. Journalist asks Trump, can Ukraine return to 2014 borders? Pete Huckabee said today that this is unlikely. This is not true. It seems unlikely. They seized a lot of territory, fought for it, and suffered losses. I'm not expressing an opinion, but I've read about it, and many people think so. I think some of the territories will return. It is important that Trump recognizes the occupation and promises to return some of the Ukrainian lands. This is an interesting statement because Peskov's latest statements contradict what Putin said on June 14th. Back then, he clearly stated the Russian position, as always, taking into account the realities on the ground.